I tell you that this plastic bottle I'm holding in my hand, as tiny looking or as harmless it might seem to you, the user, is something you should be concerned about. This plastic bottle I'm holding in my hand can take about 500 to 1,000 years to decompose. That means, as I'm holding a plastic waste bottle in my hands in the year 2024, that has probably been consumed and then produced in the year 2024, this plastic bottle can go on to live for about generations to come. It is not going to wither away, it will not fade into thin air, and it will not disappear. It will just be in our environment. And it will not just be in our environment, sitting pretty and taking selfie and looking at us. It's going to be emitting one of the most dangerous gases ever known by scientists, and that gas is methane. Methane gas has been shown by researchers to contribute to air pollution, and we all know that air pollution is a very deadly silent killer. It also aggravates asthmatic condition and also lung illnesses. So this plastic bottle I'm holding in my hands is something you should be worried about. As Nigerians, as a people, as Ndi Enugu, we contribute and generate to roughly about 35 million tons of those plastic bottles annually. And that's a whole lot of numbers if you ask me. Out of which only 50% or less are collected and accounted for, taken into the landfills by the waste management authorities of each of the states. So where do the rest go to? The rest end up in our streets, in our river bodies, in the oceans, all around us, in our surroundings, and they're not just sitting pretty looking at us. So yes, this plastic bottle I'm holding in my hands is something you should be concerned about. Research also says that as Nigeria, we rank 9th globally when it comes to country with the highest pollution of plastic waste into our environment. That means in years to come, we might begin to find more plastics in the ocean than we have fish. So yes, this plastic bottle I'm holding in my hands is something you should be worried about. As young people seated in this room, likewise the adults, I know we all have dreams. We all have visions, we have prospects, we have something burning inside of us. A dream where we hope to unleash the fullest of our potentials in the near future. And if I ask one of you, these young people, to tell us what such dreams are, we might begin to hear in this room, I'd like to be a medical doctor or a scientist in the future, because I'd like to find a cure for cancer or the cure for asthmatic condition. These are very amazing dreams, and they are good, and we are rooting for you in the near future. As a young girl in Nigeria, growing up, I had my dreams. I wanted to be a lawyer, and that was because I wanted to be a voice that will fight for the rights of people who were subjugated, who were oppressed, and being meted out injustices to by the society. I wanted to be that voice because I wanted to fight for their rights. But then, it was in wanting to fight for their rights that I found something really intriguing, something that every one of us in one way or another, directly or indirectly, was rather meting out injustices to. And that thing needed someone to also fight for it. You can guess what that thing is. Our environment, planet Earth, Mother Nature. So from wanting to be a voice, a lawyer that will fight for the rights of people who were oppressed and being meted out injustices, I ended up being an environmentalist, an advocate for the environment. But how did that switch come about? That switch came about because of the countless and series of things I had seen as a young girl growing up in Nigeria. I'd seen different things that had come to shape in my mind and change my perspective and helping me to see life beyond just the environment. On the way to school, I would just see randomly different streams of waste. Think of anything you can think of. Pure water sachet, nylon, biscuit wrapper, chewing gum, littered around us in our environment. Everywhere, they're everywhere around us. Also in our streets, in every nook and cranny of our streets, we have seen littered, these different kind of streams of waste. Think of anything you can think of. In every nook and cranny of our street, and I know we can all relate to this. What we all know as dustbin, dump sites, illegal dump sites. Sometimes they contribute to land degradation. They also sometimes are burnt openly, contributing to air pollution. And we all know what I said earlier. Air pollution is a deadly silent killer. So this plastic bottle I'm holding in my hands is something you should be concerned about. And then the one that had gone to, make me even believe that this is not going to be just a clear thing, seeing this, which is an eyesore. Seeing people discard waste inside our riverways, inside the water bodies, inside our different drainage systems, also otherwise known as the gutters. Seeing this made me realize that, was this a behavioral pattern? Was it ingrained in us as children? Was it something that we learned growing up? Was it a norm? Because I wanted to know why, how, as to the thought process of people who discard waste inside the drainage system, something that is meant to be a water channel. Upon getting into the university, I'd also still see the same series of littered waste around us. It was already becoming something I was accustomed to. But then, something caught my fancy. I'd see cleaners who were hustling to pick up those plastic bottles. And then my curiosity jumped out of the bag as to why. What was the need for them? What was the catch? I wanted to know. And then I found out that they were picking this plastic bottle because they wanted to use it to repackage local drinks like Zobo, Konu, and then resell back to the consumers. And then I began to realize some of the repackaged granules, repackaged oil sold into the local markets, they come from some of this. And then my curiosity was, how safe was that? How healthy was it? Was it sterilized? Who even authorized it? But that health talk would be a topic for another day, because this plastic bottle I'm holding in my hands is something you should be concerned about. Upon graduation from the university, I then found out that this plastic improper waste disposal, this littering of waste in our environment, it was not just my growing up days thing. It was not just my campus problem. Because the same problem I saw when I was growing up as a young girl, I also found it in Lagos when I went for my NYC. And I also found it in Abuja when I visited. And then I realized that we are sitting on a time bomb as a people. We have a local problem in our hands. And that problem is improper waste disposal, the nonchalant disposal of waste into our environment. And some seated in this room might begin to say, oh, I don't think that's such a big deal. I don't think that concerns me. The truth of the matter is, it does concern you. Waste greatly affects us all. It affects us directly, it affects us indirectly. It could be through the air we breathe, through the river bodies, through the contaminated river bodies, through the oceans, through everything, the illnesses, because waste are breeding grounds for diseases like malaria and typhoid. So yes, waste greatly affects. And often as a people, we have not paid close attention to our environment. Even though our environment forms one of the most crucial roles when it comes to the formulation of our society, where we can have young people seated in this room to live life to the fullest of their potential, contribute meaningfully towards economic growth, and unleash the future they hope to see. So yes, waste greatly affects us all. And the most noticeable pattern since my growing up days has been to take, use once, throwaway culture, also known as the linear model of economy. This throwaway culture not only spoils our environment, not only contributes to diseases, not only contributes to contamination, it also reduces the natural resources that we have that is barely even enough. So I want to imagine what I've been trying to say earlier. If you can just close your eyes. Imagine an octopus. An octopus wrapping its tentacles around everything around it. And while it is wrapping tentacles around it, it's suffocating life out of that very thing. That is what single-use plastics feels like. Single-use plastics is holding us to ransom as a people. But we are not bothered. We are not fighting it off. We are not waiting it off. We do not think it's a big problem. We forget that it can hold us into a tight grip and then choke us like Sapa. But probably because we all have plans to japa. So we do not think that it is such a big deal. But then we forget that these SENA countries we want to japa to, that we have all called SENA climbs, they will only be able to hack the keys to a sustainable environment. They were only able to place sustainability at the forefront of their affairs. But then there is hope. There is something we can do. There is something that should be done. And that is what I am doing. I am taking it one plastic bottle out of the environment at a time. And that is something I'm engaging you all to do today. That thing I'm engaging you all today, away from the linear model of economy, which is the use once, the throwaway culture, is hinging on circular model of economy. Think of circular model of economy like planting a seed. When you plant the seed, you're able to water the seed, you nurture it, you watch it blossom and grow. It yields bountiful fruit. From that bountiful fruit, you are able to extract all the raw materials from that fruit. When you keep extracting, you extract over and over and over again, ad infinitum, without harming the original seed. That is what circular model of economy feels like. Circular model of economy is hinging on the 3 R's of waste management: the reuse, the reduce, and the recycle. Circular model of economy has bountiful of opportunities away from the linear culture. Opportunities that can see our young people become environmental scientists, environmental lawyer, environmental engineer. They can go on to become researcher, waste recycler like me. They can become conservation engineer. They can begin to think of reusable everything, because the world is already thinking about green economy. The world is already moving towards sustainability, green growth, how they can help the community to put the community on the green map. In the Enugu, we can take key measurable steps. We can begin to think of our carbon footprint. Reduce your carbon footprint to our environment. Your carbon footprint means some of the day-to-day actions, your activities that you take every day. When you're coming here, did you carpool? Did you share a ride? Because you have to reduce emission into the environment. While coming here, did you come with a water bottle, which is a reusable water bottle? While going to the mall, to the market, do you have a reusable bag, a reusable shopping bag? You can reuse them over and over and over again. When they are worn out, you look for local recycling companies like us and give it to them for incentives, or you just discard them for recycling. Or you can switch to energy-saving bulbs at home, reusable water bottles, reusable bags. You can help make our planet a better place, safer, cleaner, and healthier, where we can be able to unleash the fullest of our potentials, where our young people can learn, they can live, they can thrive, they can become better. As young people seated in this room, I want to let you know, our small actions today, in our small acts today, can make a better impact tomorrow. And I leave you with the words of Robert Swan. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will come save it for us. But that someone is me, and that someone could be you, because that someone should be all of us. Thank you.